This is EA Sports PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Well, the waiting is over. We are about to get started here today. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. We'll be calling the action for you. Frank, the golfers look ready to go. And as someone who's been in this situation yourself, what sorts of things are you thinking about before starting the round?
Rhythm, I think, is a big key at TPC Sawgrass, Rich. You've got to keep your rhythm. You don't actually hit a lot of drivers out here, so position is really the first thought that you'll have. Get that ball in the right position. It is very much a second shot golf course.
Second shot now from 100 yards. That is a green in regulation as the approach shot hits the first green, but he is by no means in for par yet. A lengthy putt coming up. Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. He missed out on that second part. And so just getting started, even par so far. Now to the second. Frank, what do you make of this hole?
Well, over the years, we've seen more and more people hitting 3-wood off this tee. 3-wood's normally easier to draw, and it doesn't run out down that right side.
Well, this one's sweet, Frank.
Super.
It's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. You want to get to what they call the gauntlet, 16, 17, and 18 with a chance. 16 is the reachable par 5. You can make eagle there. And then the final two holes, you just want to steer clear of trouble. Though, with bold play, and you mentioned it with Craig Perks, you could make birdies.
It really is a case of mind over matter when you look at those holes. You're right. If you took away the water, you'd think they're 3 nice holes. But it wouldn't be the same. You intimidate the player as he plays 15. He's well aware of the finishing 3 holes.
So on the putting surface, and taking a good look now at this birdie putt here at the second. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. So in the red figures at 1 under. Frank, a nice mix of holes to start. So here we go with a par 3 at the third.
Very narrow at the front of the screen, and that bunker too. You don't actually see it off the tee, the back left bunker, and it sneaks into that left side. So if that flag is on the left, just be careful.
Stuck the follow through right there. This could be really good. I mean, that's how the game is played, right there.
He's just making it look so easy. That birdie coming up, formality.
Collects another birdie with that stroke and goes to 2 under. Hole number 4 here at TPC Sawgrass. 384-yard par 4 deep fairway bunker to the right of the landing zone. You want to avoid that. What else is there to look out for, Frank?
Those huge mounds on the left, they're just as penal really as the bunker on the right. So this is one where you have to pick an object in the distance. Really focus on that.
They'll be pretty happy with that 290-yard poke off the tee. Frank, the second here at the 4th is a dangerous shot.
Once again, this is another example of where you have to look at the green. Where exactly is the flag? If it's on that high portion, you've got to fly it all the way back.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Frank, 2 is nice, but
3 is even better.
Now they're rolling 3 under par. 5th hole, good par 4, isn't it, Frank?
If ever a hole was built for Lee Trevino, who used to love to cut it, this would be the hole. It just looks and screams for a shot that's hit left to right. And that's the only way really to avoid bunkers left and long, and that one that's all the way down the right side.
Great strike and a great result. Sitting up, good chance to attack the flag. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. Nothing wrong with that one. Only about 15 feet away and a chance for birdie. 14 feet to the hole. Really locked in. How about 4 birdies now for the round? Frank, this isn't a hole that sort of jumps out at you the way, say, 17 does.
Yeah, a lot of times people will just sort of gloss over it, but anytime you get a par 4 under 400 yards, it's a great opportunity. But once again, a positional hole. Take advantage of it. That's an absolute beauty.
Frank, getting set for this approach shot, our featured golfer is a player, it's obvious, in full flight right now.
It is. This is where it doesn't matter what the sport is, and golf is a great example for it, though, where when you play your best, it's almost like you're just playing out of your subconscious. Everything happens, it just flows, and you don't really think about it.
Takes care of business. 5 under par. 7th hole here at Sawgrass. Frank, a bit uncomfortable off the tee.
It is. It reminds me a little bit of the opening hole, much longer version, where when you stand on the tee and look at the green, it's a straightaway hole. But that fairway goes to the left, then it comes back to the right. But they're all optical illusions.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Now the approach to the 7th. Frank, what do you need to be mindful of here?
It's rather narrow in the front of this green, and then there's some mounds both right and left. Be very aware of those mounds. They can actually help you out.
Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Set to go. Not an easy shot by any means. Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. Settles in over the putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, this is a hole that I really like. The 8th, 237-yard par 3, just a necklace of bunkers surrounding the green. What's the best approach?
Well, you come out through that chute or that hallway of trees there, and this being the longest of the 4 par 3s at TPC Sawgrass, the green actually plays much smaller than what it looks because of that narrow entry.
Second shot. Good look at the green. Solid play, heart of the green. This would give him the par. We're just playing a nice round of golf. Has that one for par, and now at 5 under par. Frank, the 9th is really a good par 5, isn't it?
There's so many options here. Just play it away, sort of 3-wood it down there, then go to the right and sort of wedge it on the green. But it's very tempting, especially in the right wind conditions. And that's if they're coming over your shoulder for a right-hander from right to left. Then this par 5 is very reachable.
Outstanding tee shot.
Yeah, ball sitting up. You don't have to worry about the wind or anything there. You just take a full-blooded cut at the second shot from here. This is not heading in the right direction.
It looks like it's going to be in the rough. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Frank, it's not about getting the ball close to the hole. From that spot,
well, he had no chance to get it close. I thought he had very, very, very little chance of getting it on the green. So given that, that was a very good shot.
Makes birdie, continuing to amaze on the greens, Frank.
Putted well all day, Rich. Had a couple of good holes early on and just, I think, found the groove. Has taken it to another level.
You can see a little bit off balance on the tee, and that one is going to be in the rough. Frank, better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that looked like it was headed for that thick stuff the whole way, but a little fortunate. But then I guess you're allowed that in this game.
That is classy.
Yeah, a chance of going in.
Stacking them and racking them. Now the time to be aggressive. Par 5, 558-yard, 11th hole, Frank. What's the key here?
Tee it high and let it fly. This is the big chance here. This is one of the widest fairways on the golf course. This is where you chance it all.
Well, this looks good.
Certainly is. Oh, that's it. New member of the 300-yard club.
Good poke right there. Nice position. Short grass. Second shot. That's a bit offline in the rough. He'll need to be strong with this. putting all of his talents on display here from the rough, and he knocks it really close. Beautiful shot. That moves them to 8 under par. 2 straight birdies. Here now, the 12th hole at the TPC Sawgrass. It's a 358-yard par 4, so short on the card, Frank, but obviously a challenge. What's the key here?
Once again, trying to find that right position on the fairway, and that's down the right side. Anything down the left, that mound is going to block your view. Game's about rhythm. When you have good rhythm, it just looks effortless. To hit the ball 300 yards through the air, that easy.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Seems to like it. They're headed for the fat part of the green. That's an outstanding shot right there, and it sets up a really good look at birdie. Well, this would be nice. A 4th consecutive birdie. Heating up.
I'm running out of fingers.
You may have lost track at home, but we're keeping count. And that is 9 under for the day. And Frank, we always like when they have the whole location back left and that ball trickles down, feeds. You can see some really good ones and maybe even an ace here.
Yeah, just like Mickelson a few years ago. Down there, it looked like it was going to flirt with a bunker, ran up and over the ridge, and in it goes. This is one where you have to play ground ball as well as high ball.
And that one ends up about 25 feet from the hole. Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
Oh, I thought he had that.
Had every chance of going in.
Shouldn't be a problem here. That's how you maintain momentum. Make those putts for par. Frank, the 14th hole. A lot has happened here over the years.
I think it's the litmus test on the back 9. That's where things really start to heat up. It looks like a straightforward tee shot, but often the eyes wander to that water down the left side. And, of course, if you think about that, you invariably fire the ball towards the right where those hillocks and thick rough and virtually no chance of reaching the par 4 and 2.
Not the longest, but not bad. 295 yards in the fairway. We'll settle. That one is bunker bound, it looks like. That one is in the bunker. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. And getting ready for the putt. 9 under for the round. Back to the TPC Sawgrass, the 15th hole. It's a par 4 as we make our way to this finishing stretch. And Frank, what's in store for the players here?
Another one of those par 4s around 450 yards. Ideally hit it tee shot down the right side, keeping it away from that bunker. But that's a flat bunker down the right with no lip, so it's still not too bad. Biggest problem here is that green. So many undulations on this green.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special. This looks like it's going to find the target.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Well, there's impressive, and then there's mind-boggling. We're at mind-boggling now. 10 under par. Now the start of the gauntlet. 16, 17, and 18. Par 5, 16. Frank, Tiger made birdie here all 4 days in winning in 2013.
Fred Couples made that fantastic eagle many years ago. Hole bends a little to the player's left. You don't have to hit driver here if you're a long hitter, but you really must move that ball right to left.
190-yard shot now. Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
It's in the hole. Just a sensational shot right there. Frank, it's the moment that makes it tough, isn't it right?
Yeah, you've made that walk from 16 green. It's 80 yards to the tee here. So as you walk along, and if your eyes venture to the right, you see it all in front of you. You see the crowd behind, and you realize this is the shortest par 3 on the golf course. But you also, if you think a little too hard, everything that you've seen over the years flashes through your mind. And this one just seems to be moving a little left in the air.
Not too bad. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. These putts keep the round together. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
Getting set now over the putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Now to the final hole here at TPC Sawgrass, 462-yard par 4. Frank, is this one of the toughest finishing holes in the sport?
It is, because the simple reason you've played 17 holes and the job isn't done yet.
But this could be really good, Frank.
Oh, straight at it.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Frank, this is a way to make golf easy when you can hit it that deep.
Oh, I'm going to say, I know that first number's a 3. I'm guessing the second one's a 2. Let's call it 320.
Good swing, good shot yet again. Not terrible, but not his best.
Outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
That was not a very good read right there. From about 8 feet. Good par. Frank, that was just a dazzling display of golf today.
It's amazing how a game at times that can be so hard and just absolutely drive you crazy can appear to be so simple. This was just an absolute joy to watch today.
So that'll do it for Frank Nobilo and our entire team. I'm Rich Lerner. Until next time. Presented by EA Sports in association with the PGA Tour. Today we're here at Paracel Storm, located in the South China Sea. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, set to bring you all the action out on the course. Frank, looks like a bit of a war zone out there.
Interesting layout, Rich. 18 par 3s ahead of us, and well, we're going to have to negotiate ourselves around there, hopefully with radio control, and we can fire when we're ready.
One of the most unusual courses in the world. Players hitting across islands, over buildings, and off an aircraft carrier. You couldn't ask for much more.
This is not for the faint of heart.
Well, Frank, obviously way too much club there.
You got to think something like that, or at least misread the wind. This is never going to sit down.
Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he's thinking on that.
Oh, dude, that in the hole. Tremendous shot. Now to the second hole, Frank, and just a look here. This green is clearly very heavily guarded.
Yeah, you notice that guard shack on the right there. Well, you better keep your head down because we're not sure whether or not that guard shack is actually empty.
Could be a dangerous shot here at the second.
And left, trees, a little bit of sand. There is the bridge as well.
Frankie's missed the green here in regulation, but still hasn't missed the chance to make the par.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he's got this shot in his toolbox coming up.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
And he's made it onto the green now. This one just requires a little bit of focus. And so just getting started, even par so far. Frank, this is a golf course that takes every bit of modern equipment, telecommunications, hardware to get the job done. Woods, irons, hybrids. I'll tell you this, a little Kevlar wouldn't hurt either.
Yeah, if you don't have that there today, you'll catch some flack.
In the thick stuff.
Thick, it's brutal out there.
Second shot coming out of the rough here.
Even par, currently.
Did the job right there. Frank, here at the fourth, there's an awful lot going on.
There certainly is. Solar panels, radar tower is up and ready to go, so it will confirm the landing on the other side if it's successful. This rather long par 3 around the 230-yard mark, so this is going to be all carry. Got to land that ball on the green. It will not run through that beach area. And, of course, the trees and the palm trees all the way around. If this isn't flighted properly, it will not find the destination.
Seems like too much for just one man. This looks like a job for an entire flight crew, Frank.
Well, Rich, we should dig ourselves a trench and see what happens.
Pretty good stroke right there, just to hit it through the break.
It's this sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. Still even par for the day. Frank, you and I have called golf from around the world. In fact, we had our broadcast position of the Grand Canyon in a hot air balloon. Tell you what, I'm glad we didn't pick that spot to broadcast from. That would have been lights out early.
It would have, but I don't even know if our observation tower that was situated in is going to be safe. The destroyers come and hit the land. And, of course, the fifth hole, this par 3, at just over 200 yards. That should be rather interesting, but hopefully we'll be safe. Let's batten down the hatches while we watch the tee shot.
and it is not looking like a good lie. He'll need to be strong with this. And Frank, that steady play continues.
Rock solid. Excellent approach shot.
So a tester from 4 feet. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Frank here at the 6th, a really fascinating hole.
It is mid sort of 200 yards, shared greens, a bit like St. Andrews. But because you're hitting it over an island, you're almost going to have to parachute this tee shot in here and get it to land softly. There's a lot of things going on behind to the left and the side. It's like a little village that you're heading into. Hopefully you don't need a passport.
Well, time to play it like the great Seve Ballesteros. What a bunker player he was. Just wants to hit about an inch behind the ball. And getting ready for the putt.
You'd like that one again.
So frustrating sometimes on the greens, isn't it? Drop shot here at the 6th. This would give him a bogey. So with that, 1 over par. Frank, I don't know if it's legal, but a player might want to get a detailed map from high overhead, maybe from a bomber squadron flying by, just to get an idea of what they're navigating on this hole.
Well, if you can't call one in, you can always go up one of those lookout towers and maybe get a good surveillance of the hole, or even the wind direction. It's not overly long.
Well, you don't want to compound the error. Out of bounds, and now back on the tee with a provisional. This one has to be in play. So playing the 3rd shot right now after having gone OB. In for bogey, now sitting at 2 over for the round. Now at the 8th here at Parasol Storm, this is a relatively short hole, but if you notice off to the left, Frank, there is a basketball court, and that allows me the chance to say, from way downtown, yes!
Well, if you miss this green, you might be able to sign up too. There's plenty of barracks. You can just take a left turn, go into there and enlist. But if you want to keep playing, par 3, under 200 yards, and see if you can safely get on deck.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. 2nd shot coming out of the rough here. Two over for the day. Rounding out this front 9 mission here, the 9th hole. Shot over the building.
Well, I need to be careful. The front left of the screen is guarded. You'll be ducking for cover in the trenches.
Been a real battle out here today. Just need to keep it all together.
Oh, nice strike, Rich. Not quite directly in line with the flag.
He's just drifting a bit to the right, but he'll settle. He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Might be. Could do that. Start of the back 9 mission. Rich Lerner for EA Sports with my partner Frank Nobilo. Frank, tell us a little bit about the 10th. Yeah, about 145 yards left here.
Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Early part of this back nine and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie. So coming off the birdie on the previous hole, a chance now for yet another one.
And momentum all in his favor.
Oh, man, just slides by. And only a tap in left. Good putt. Okay, has it and stays at 1 over par. The 11th hole here at Paracel Storm, now a military playground. Frank, certainly the players are thankful, having traded the guns for golf clubs. Good time out there so far.
A little bit of an obstacle course, though, here at 11. You can see the weather vanes that adorn the right side of this hole. Tee shot has to be played across that seawall. So once again, all carry. And let's see if he can land softly on the other side.
Hoping to get this up and down here, Frank, at the par 3 after missing the green.
Yeah, it's not all bad.
Lays the face open. He'll try to pop this one out. That is always so disappointing from that kind of a spot when you come up short.
Yeah, you're licking your chops over that one. A shot you think you could hit.
Oh, without a doubt, that will be on the highlight reel later tonight. Excellent shot. Frank, the 12th hole here at Paracel Storm, 241 yards, island green. I can't think of a harder par 3 in the world.
This hole, you really have to be wary on the direction of the wind, because if it's coming off the island, then it's going to blow it towards the water. It's going to make this tee shot so much more difficult. Conversely, if you get a little sea breeze, it's going to help. It's going to hold it up there and make this whole play that little bit easier. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Into the thick stuff. That's a difficult lie. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way.
If you hit enough shots, every now and again, one's going to go in.
Crazy, crazy game. Going right back to the large island here at the 13th, Frank.
Trenches behind will certainly protect anything that goes a little bit long. Left of this green, you better call in the Navy.
Certainly had enough power, just didn't have any touch. Frank, this is always such a difficult spot for a golfer. You just hit one out of bounds, you're trying to regroup.
He's going to need to more than regroup now.
So now he's playing his third shot, Frank, after hitting it OB.
Yeah, good tee shot, though. So see if he can string a couple of good shots together now.
Wow, Frank, he did well just to get it on the green from that lie.
I didn't think that was doable.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. That was well judged, wasn't it? Frank, here at the 14th, not a long hole, but not a big green either.
It almost lulls you into that false sense of security. You just see the green, it stands up like an old sand dune. The beach around doesn't seem to be that problematic. A few trees behind, really, they just give you a nice line. But beware of what looks straightforward.
Looks sort of like a deserted island, Frank. Just a pure strike and a perfect result. He'll have a good look at birdie now. Oh, I thought he had that. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knocking him for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the course.
Frank, in any war zone, the element of surprise is always so critical, and we see that here at the 15th.
Yeah, this green is fortified by the jungle that surrounds it, and just a little feature that you often don't see on a golf course. It's not a bunker in the middle of that green, just a mini forest.
Just a little short shot here. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Wow, I didn't expect that. He has this for par. Solid effort and reasonable result to stay at 1 over par. And just take a look out at the battleships burning, the solar panels, the bridges, the barracks. You know you're not at your dad's country club anymore. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. See if he can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie.
Really? This is an awkward length.
Nicely holed. 4th birdie of the day. Coming to the end of this battle, now at the 17th hole, Frank.
Yeah, the penultimate hole. Par 3. We've got to walk across the bridge to get there. And it looks relatively benign at the moment. We've seen a lot of things pop up. The Destroyer is a great reminder of that. Hole is under 200 yards, so within reach. But we've got to once again parachute in all the trouble to the front and the right side of this green. Ball has to be hit nice and high.
Solid play, heart of the green. Just a little tap in here. Did the job right there. Now the finishing hole, Frank, and just a spectacular looking hole.
Yeah, chance to complete our mission should we succeed here at 18. If anything, you want to keep the ball a little left of the flag. Otherwise, we're off the beach.
Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he was thinking on that.
That's how you maintain momentum. You make those putts for par. Well, that'll wrap it up for us today. We saw a lot of great golf, Frank.
The course was good. It was gettable for some, but, you know, in the end, it really gave you what you deserve, just the way we want it.
And that'll do it for our entire team. I'm Rich Lerner. Until next time. This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend Frank Nobilo. We are at the most historic course in the world, Frank, the old course at St. Andrews.
I can't believe it was established in 1552, and it's just a pleasure to play. 7 shared greens. If you want to sort of do the maths on that, know exactly where you are. The shared greens will always add up to 18. For example, if you're on the second, it'll share it with the sixth. And there is 4 greens that aren't shared at all. That's 1, 9, 17, and 18. But just an absolute pleasure, and it's actually fun to play the course.
Frank, this is no ordinary opening tee shot. This is the opening shot at the old course at St. Andrews. So are you inspired, intimidated, nervous? Where are the emotions at?
Oh, all of the above. And this opening tee shot will never get old, that's for sure. It looks like a wide open hole. Really, you don't want to be looking right or left because it's out of bounds, even though it's a well way right and a long way left. You basically aim it at the 17th green is a good line for your opening tee shot.
Well, this is the kind of wind that separates the great players from the average players. You really have to be strong to handle these kinds of winds. Frank, did you hear the sound of that coming off the club face?
It was like a cannon.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Just a beautiful approach shot. Settles in over the putt. In the hole, and that'll bring the score to 1 under. Here we are now at the second. Always so important to try and establish a good round in these opening holes, Frank.
In the second hole, especially with a prevailing breeze and today's modern equipment, the odd player has actually driven this green, but you really see the tone of the golf course. The middle of the golf course is protected. There's a series of bunkers down there, but the left is always the safe side of the golf course, but it's the best line to play your second shot from on the whole golf course is always the right side, and we see that here at the second.
And that's going to stay on the fairway here at the second hole. And he's set up for his second shot here, looking to knock it on the green. This won't hurt him. Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Not a real hard game, is it? Birdie, birdie to open. On the tee box here at the third now. Frank, all of these holes look relatively straightforward. Can a golfer get lured in a kind of a false sense of security off the tee here at the old course?
No, well, you can. This hole, the third hole, even shorter than the second, so reachable. But a lot of people tend to bail out towards the left. That's the middle of the golf course. And that leaves you a devilish little pitch or short wedge across that big gaping bunker that protects both the third and the 15th green. So once again, want to drive the ball down the right side, but there's a series of pot bunkers there.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Frank, this would be huge.
Oh, it's got that strut going, everything. This is when that hole starts to look a little bit bigger. You really feel like you can start to make everything.
Frank, a much more difficult hole here at the 4th at the old course.
Yeah, that new championship tee has really made 4 a very hard par 4. Two ways to play it. Down the right, that's a very, very narrow strip of fairway. Most will go to the left side, a little more conservative. But either way, tough second shot.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. 160 left. Frank, this has been impressive. Game plan, stuck to it, hitting some quality shots.
He has really done his homework on the golf course, swinging well, and there's a few holes to go too. And this round could get even better.
Birdie try up next. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. That would have been a real bonus had it dropped, but as it is, good putt. This is a 13-footer. Continues to putt beautifully. Hole number 5 of the first par 5 we've seen today. This fairway looks like it narrows quite a bit, Frank. Are you thinking eagle when you step up onto the tee?
Well, you could, especially if you've got a little bit of breeze behind you, but it's quite wide in the driving area with the exception of those 3 bunkers on the right that just sort of pop out. But if you can get it past those, this par 5, very reachable.
He just blasted that one down the fairway. Out there about 325 yards. That one inside of 10 feet, really dialed in. Shouldn't be a problem here. Well, that was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Drops another birdie and moves to 4 under on the day. Now at the 6th, not a particularly long hole, Frank, par 4.
Yeah, semi-blind tee shot. You've got an idea where you want to hit, but there's a series of 3 bunkers. They're called the coffins down the left side, as well as some pop bunkers down the right. So this requires a very accurate tee shot.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
How about that shot right there from that lie in the rough to knock it that close? That's good. Wow, a 5th birdie on the day. Back here at the Open Championship on the 7th hole here at the old course.
Yeah, blind tee shot. This is one hole that really does advantage the long hitter. They can get it very close to this green, but this green has got some amazing undulations in it.
Not quite what he wanted. Tee shot is in the bunker. Digs in. Important to have a strong base on these bunker shots. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Well, the best in the game don't do it any better. McIlroy, Fowler, Duffner, they'd be impressed by that bunker shot. This is impressive now. 6 under par and 2 straight birdies. Standing on the tee at the par 3 8th here at the old course. And Frank, what are we looking at here?
one of the biggest greens on the golf course. It looks flat, it looks like it's easy, but once that flag gets on the left side, that's when the hole becomes a little bit more difficult. It's very easy to take this hole for granted. Very hard to hit it close, though.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. On the way. Surprise, surprise.
I tell you, just when you thought things were going to go the other way.
Frank, the old course all about avoiding the pot bunkers. They're so nasty. This is a good example here, the 9th hole.
Yeah, the pot bunkers really to be avoided are the ones in the middle of the fairway, but there are some that sneak in on the left side, plus that gorse on the left. If you can carry that last one, which is called the end hole, then there's a chance to perhaps drive this green.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Getting set for another approach. Our featured golfer really looks dialed in at this point.
Yeah, right now, this is a great feeling to have as a golfer. Your swing's good, the timing, it's almost like it's just completely natural. You don't have to think. The swing is exactly where you want it to be. So really, you're just looking at the flag in front of you.
Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back. Nice.
Looks good. In the fairway here at the 10th, nice way to start off the back nine. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
On the green, and a chance for birdie.
I've heard of being on the zone, but this is just making it look so easy.
Just sensational golf. I mean, he is knocking down every flagstick right now. What a performance. Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
Frank, number 11, the Eden, is really one of the more fascinating holes in all of golf.
Yeah, the two bunkers that the players normally worry about, Strath bunker in the front and the Hill bunker to the left. What makes those two bunkers so difficult is the steepness of the faces in it.
Didn't cover the flagstick on that one, but on the green, safely, with about 30 feet to go. Just want to nestle this one down to within a couple of feet. Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. Getting set now over the putt. Just an amazing display. The records continue to fall. Frank, from this vantage point here at the 12th, you can see why the old course, St. Andrews, are so iconic in the sport.
Yeah, this is a fun hole as we start to sort of head back to the village of St. Andrews. Hole's called Heathery. There's a big crop of heather on the left, and there's 4 little pot bunkers that are in the middle of this fairway, so you've really got to be cognizant of those. But good time to take the head cover off if you're a long hitter, and then you've only got to worry about that one pot bunker just short of the green.
Well, he has not been bothered by these strong winds today. It has really been gusty, but you wouldn't know it watching this guy on TV. Well, they claim it's a reachable par 4. We haven't seen a whole lot of people do it today. We just saw it right there. Well done. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus.
Rich, how can you leave an eagle putt short?
Well, you can't. I mean, that's embarrassing.
You can leave a par putt, birdie putt, an eagle putt.
Might want to just shut the game down. Quit playing. Frank, how about the bunkers here at 13? A rather ominous sounding name.
Yeah, the coffins, and they are that for a reason. If you finish up in there, well, the best you'll probably ever do is make a bogey, unless you're an absolute genius. That'll be avoided, certainly off the tee. If you do, it's still a difficult hole. The second shot, unless you hit a perfect tee shot, will be blind.
Good tee shot, right in the short grass. Now playing the second here at the par 4. On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Frank, he might like this one. This one looks good. Might like it. Oh, they're going to love it. What a putt. Frank, what's the strategy here at the 14th?
If you can't go for this par 5 and 2, Rich, there is another option where you can go left. And I mean left of left. That's down the 4th fairway. That's across the Elysian Fields, as they call it, which is a set of sort of hummocks that run down the middle. And you can find a flat lie there and come across at about a 45-degree angle for your third shot to 14.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that hanging in the sky. Second shot.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Third shot, looking for a good one. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Frankie seems to have found something. Already 2 birdies in a row and now another chance.
Yeah, it's all starting to flow here. This is really important. He's starting to play well, so finish it off here for 3 in a row.
Time to tee it up here at the 15th as we begin the closing stretch here at the Open Championship of the Old Course at St. Andrews.
There's a big steeple in the distance, so even when it starts to fog in a bit, if you can keep your eye on that, that's a good line off the tee. And you've got to keep it, your tee shot just short of this sort of heather, big crop of heather down the left side. It still leaves you a lengthy second shot, but really that's the safest way to try and play this par 4, 15th. Very good par 4.
Birdie try up next. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Frank, I thought that was in. Just a little too much juice on that birdie putt, Frank.
It was bold, very bold.
Good effort, good par putt. Frank, the 16th hole, famous for the principal's nose, and I can't help but think of Mrs. Hartman from 4th grade.
Well, I don't know.
She didn't like us.
I don't know how Mrs. Hartman would have played this hole, but she would have been wary of the out of bounds on the right, and that's why the general consensus is you not only avoid the principal's nose, but you hit the tee shot a little bit further left. It might lengthen the hole, but it is certainly the more prudent strategy.
Frank, why are great rivalries so important? Why do we love them?
I think because people like to sit on one side of the fence. You're either for or against a great player. And I think we see that today with Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. There's the McIlroy fans that think his future is so bright. There's the Woods fans that still want him to pass Jack Nicklaus's record. That's the beauty. You've got to have an opinion, and you have to have a player.
Well, that is a really good tee shot right there, Frank.
I think that tipped the 300-yard mark.
Second shot. Good look at the green.
Oh, nice strike, Rich. Not quite directly in line with the flag.
Just drifting a bit to the right, but he'll settle. No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie.
It's at sneaky distance.
Just didn't read that one quite right. Not a gimme, but well within his range. You like the sound of this. 11 under par for the round. Now at the 17th tee, and Frank, this is really when you begin to feel the weight and the history of the Old Course bearing down on you.
And you also feel the nerves as well, because you're having to hit it not just at a fairway or over a bush, but over the corner of an out of bounds. And you'll see there's a little sign up there that says Old Course and Country Club. So you've got to pick the exact letter for the line that you want to hit it across. Hit it down the right side. This hole certainly becomes shorter. Left, you find the left and short. You find the road hole bunker. A little right and long, and well, there's a chance of going out of bounds or on the road itself.
Birdie try up next. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Well, this one's tracking. Oh, dude, that. What a putt. Headed for home now with a Royal and Ancient behind the green. A chance to cross the Swilken Bridge. just as Jack Nicklaus did, as Arnold Palmer did, as so many of the legends of the sport have done. This is a special place in the game. Frank, did you hear the sound of that coming off the club face?
It was like a cannon.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. That is another laser right at the flagstick. This one just requires a little bit of focus. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
And he's putting for par now. In for par. Frank, a lot to like in this performance today.
Oh, it is. There's so many positives to take out of this round. Not just the possibility to win this week, but going forward. This is great golf that you would hold up against anybody right now.